What's good, everybody? Is when I come back at you with another video. So with this video, I'm going to explain a very complex idea, topic, and all I ask is that you bear with me because this one will really turn your head upside down if these are all new concepts, and it may be confusing. And I'm giving you guys the warning in advance, right? Like it might be confusing topic to kind of like grasp your head around, but at the very least, at very worst, if you watch this video in its entirety, I'm hoping that at the bare minimum, I'll at least be able to plant the seed in your mind to have you further investigate and look into this, right? Topic of this video is that your conditions are nothing more than illusions. Now, once again, bear with me, guys, because this one is going to be pretty complicated for me to explain. So I want to make sure I go slowly and step by step from point A to point Z as far as what I mean by your conditions being simply illusions. Now, what you need to understand is when I say conditions, these are essentially your set of circumstances. This is your situation, right? This can be your financial condition. This can be your love life condition. This can be your fitness condition, any area of your life, all your conditions, right? Education, all these things, where you were brought up, etc., right? Your conditions are nothing more than illusions. The reason for this is because, first and foremost, quantum physics, without going into super detail and being really nerdy, right? Quantum physics states that in the now, in this present moment, that all possibilities of everything exist all at once, right? It's quantum physics, the science is not my opinion, right? That all possibilities of everything exist in the now, exist in this same moment, right? The reason for this is because time itself is an illusion. Now, I understand we have the past, right? We'll say this is the past. We have the present here, and then we have the future on this side over here, right? Time is an illusion because we think that they're just different timelines of like you have the past, you have the present, and then you have the future. But in actuality, everything that has ever happened in this world and on this planet always happened in the now. Why is that? Because we would look back on history, say it's like history class. You look back and see, oh, this event happened in 1700 BC, and then this event happened in the 1900s, and et cetera, et cetera. But at the time when those events happened in that moment's now, right? For example, if we use the example of the ball drop, every New Year's they do a ball drop here in Times Square. If we use the example of the ball drop when it turned January 1st, 2000, right? Like when the year turned from 1999 to 2000, right? And we entered the new millennium. When the ball drop happened and it became New Year's, right? January 1st, 2000, in that moment in time, that was the now. In any event that's happened in history, it's always happened in the now. It's always happened in that time's present. Stay with me, right? Of course, you watching this video, you're watching this right now in today's present. Back when New Year's happened in the year 2000, it was that moment's present time when it happened. So as you can see, every event that's ever happened has only happened in the now. The same idea with the future, right? If, let's just say, in the year 2050, there's going to be flying cars. Well, that flying cars get invented in 2050, right? When 2050 arrives, it will be that new moments. It would be that future is now, right? So the now moment that we're experiencing right now, it would be the now in 2050 where we finally invent flying cars. So the now moment, this present moment, always remains a constant. It's no different than gravity remaining a constant. You go up, you're going to go down, right? That's the law of gravity. You jump up, you're going to be pulled right back to the ground. It's not that you jump up and you just start magically floating and flying, right? That's never happened in your life, and hopefully it's never happening in life, right? That probably wouldn't be the safest thing. But yeah, things have the present moment has always remained a constant all throughout life and all throughout time. So that's why they say that time is an illusion, because of this. And the reason why you know it's an illusion is because if I were to ask you, hey, go do something yesterday right now, you wouldn't be able to do that, right? You wouldn't be able to jump through a portal and then return to yesterday's day and go finish this task that I asked you to do, right? The same with the future, right? You wouldn't be able, if I asked you right now, hey, go do this, go move the car for me tomorrow, like in the future right now. You can't jump through the portal and show up tomorrow to move the car for me and then return back to this present moment, right? We only have access to the now. So this is why they say that time itself is an illusion, right? Of course, we explain the past and the future to help explain, events that already happened and events that can happen in the future. But the only moment that we will ever have control of is the now. So if we think about it, if we think of the entire timeline of the past to the future, everything that's ever happened in life always happened in the now moment. So this is why they say time is illusion, but more importantly, this is why they say that all possibilities exist all at the same time in the now moment. So now the question is, how does this relate to you, right? How does this relate to you? You see, this relates to you because if we look at your situation, like oftentimes people will find conditions as excuses for where they're at, right? They'll say, let's just, if we're talking about wealth, right? Let's just say someone may make the excuse like, oh, I would be wealthy if I were to have gotten a college education because I didn't get a college degree, or I would be wealthy if I were born into a a good family, or I would be wealthy if I were to be raised in a good country, or I would be wealthy if I ended up getting this opportunity or this position, right? It's almost like making an excuse for yourself for why you're not wealthy, even though we just explained that all versions of everything, all possibilities exist simultaneously at the same time. And if something already exists, then there can't be a condition that's preventing it from existing, right? If we say all possibilities of everything exists at the same time in the now moment, right? Because everything only ever happens in the now. That means you have your current version of you and you also have a wealthy version of you. That wealthy version of you already exists right now. Why? Because you can't do anything in the past, right? You can't go visit yesterday and you also can't go visit tomorrow. You only ever can work with the now. So if all possibilities of everything exist, then a wealthy version of you already exists. So if a wealthy version of you already exists, then it can't be that you can't get wealthy because of all these conditions, because of not having an education, because of not having access to these resources. We've already accepted that every possibility exists, and if a wealthy version of you exists, then it exists. Then that means that it's completely unrelated and untied to a condition. I hope I'm explaining it right. I hope it's beginning to make sense, right? So if, let's just say, for example, right, let's say guaranteed 5 years from now, from this moment, 5 year mark in the future, you're guaranteed to be wealthy. You're gonna have all the money you could ever want in your life, right? Great. When that 5 year mark comes in the future, you're guaranteed to be wealthy. When we make it to that 5 year mark, that will be the new now moment, right? Which means the wealthy version of you exists in the now because it exists in the now, of course, even 5 years later. But because the wealthy version of you exists in the now, then it also exists right now. That version of you also exists right now. So that's why there's a saying that I love. One of my favorite quotes is, it goes, when your attitude is right, the facts don't count. The explanation for this is when he's talking about the facts, Well, your attitude is like your emotions, your energy, how you're showing up, your personality, right? Showing up smiling, showing up excited, showing up feeling good, right? The statement, when your attitude is right, the facts don't count. When I talk about facts, these are, most people think are facts, are generally your condition, it's generally your situation, right? And here's an example. Someone can say, oh, your net worth is $500. And that's a fact because I can pull up your bank statement, your bank account, and see that there's only $5. There's $500. Sorry, there's only $500 to your name. Therefore, your net worth is $500, and that's a fact. In actuality, that is more so of a situation or a condition because that is always subject to change, right? Same idea with your love life, right? If you're right now single as a Pringle, right? Someone can say, oh, it's a fact that you're single because you don't have a partner. Cool. That's just your situation. That's just your set of circumstances. And that is subject to change. And it's subject to change because those other versions of you, the wealthy version of you, the in a relationship with your lover version of you, the perfect body version of you, that all exists in this present moment right now. And you can get closer to that version by being excited, by being filled with love and gratitude, by feeling good. The reason for this is because as you're feeling good, as you're vibrating the right energy, you're tapping into those perfect versions of you, those better versions of you that has these things, right? But also more importantly, when you tap into the positive energy, you're activating the law of attraction, right? Which is not my opinion, it is a law, right? These are laws that govern the universe. That's why the universe is the world is a very orderly world, right? You, with your energy and your excitement, you're activating the law of attraction, which means the energy that you put out is what you're attracting back to you in the form of people, events, and circumstances. So if you're always vibrating high and you're excited and you're eager and you're optimistic and you just feel so good that you're just little things, like you're just unbothered, you pretty much feel invincible, then you're going to attract those situations, the people, events, situations back to you guys, back to you. And also, when you think about it, how would you feel if, let's just say, your dream is to be wealthy? How would you feel if you were to have access to that wealth right now? If by a snap of a finger like this, right, you were wealthy, how would you feel? Many of you would be running around your room or your house, screaming, celebrating, turning up, living your best life, and saying, you know what, life is good, life is taken care of, like I'm going to be able to do all the things that I wanted to do. You'll feel on top of the world if that were to happen. So why not begin feeling that right now? You don't need these things to begin feeling that way. But oftentimes people want them to happen so that they can begin feeling this way. You can begin feeling this way right now. Why? Because if you were to have your finances in order, right, you would be excited because you know that is a burden being lifted off your shoulders, right? And it'll make you happier in having your finances taken care of because now you can take care of yourself and your family. So it's improved the quality of your life, which in turn makes you happy, right? So you're effectively chasing happiness. So you want to be happy and find ways to be happy anyways. Tying it all back to the beginning of the video, the title of the video, your conditions are nothing more than illusions. The reason why I say this is because people often like to create conditions or create excuses for why they can't do something or why they can't be something or why this, why that, right? Not understanding that they're illusions, because if all possibilities, according to quantum physics, if all possibilities of everything exist simultaneously all at once, it already exists and it's available to you now in the present moment, then that means if right now you're struggling financially, that means a wealthy version of you already exists. A wealthy you already exists. And you can begin tapping into that. You can begin showing up as that person, right? And if that person already exists, then there can't be any excuse that's preventing that person from existing because they already exist. right? It can't be that the wealthy version of me exists, but they don't because they never received a college education. That person already exists, so therefore they can't be any excuse for it not to exist because it already exists. The healthy version of you with a chiseled body and looking like a supermodel with perfect skin, that version of you exists right now as well. So it can't be all of these excuses that you might be bringing up saying that this is why it can't happen. All possibilities already exist at the same time. So this is why conditions are just illusion. People use conditions to try to find an excuse for where they're at. They'll say, oh, it's the economy, oh, it's the job market, oh, is this, oh, is that, when the best versions of you already exist. So conditions don't matter. That's why they're saying when your attitude is right, the facts don't count. All of these quote unquote facts are typically just your circumstance, your situation, and because they're just circumstances, they're all subject to change, right? They're not permanent. It's not a life sentence. They're all subject to change. And when you have the right attitude, when you're feeling good, when you're vibrating the right energy, that's when you'll tap in to the better versions of you. That's when you'll begin tapping into the laws and the energy, because everything on this planet is energy. Everything here is connected. Everything is connected to one another. Everything that you see, all matter. Everything is all made of the same substance, all energy. So when your attitude is right, when you're vibrating the right energy, you're going to be attracting the good things to you. That is how you begin improving your life for the better. So I know this was a much more complex topic to go over, but I'm hoping that at the very least, if you made it this far, that I've helped plant the seed for you. If you want to look into this yourself, then I highly recommend it, because this is the type of information that really makes you see the world differently. If you knew and understood that all possibilities of everything existed simultaneously at the same time in the now moment, then you'll understand that the versions of you that you've always wanted, that you've always, wanted to experience and wanted to live, like, right? Whether it's finance, whether it's health, whether it's dream home, whether it's relationship, whatever it is, that version, even the happy, jolly version where you're just personality wise, where you're just unbothered, like nothing bothers you anymore because you just love yourself and you love life so much, everything is going to be taken care of. Those versions of you already exist, so there's no reason for you to fight it or be worried, because it already exists. That means it exists right now in this present moment now, and you can access it. You can tap into right now. This is why you have power. This is why all of your power is in the now, in this moment, because you will only ever have this moment. See, oftentimes people, they struggle with life because they'll look too far in the future and wish that they were there in the future and try to fight. They try to fight and get out of being in the present moment, right? Because they'll say, I want to be in the future. I want to be there. I should be there. And so they try to fight the present moment as much as they can because they want to be in the future, not understanding that the present moment is all they'll ever have access to. And that's the secret that they tried to keep away from you, right? That you'll only ever have present, you only ever have access to the now, to the present moment. So that'll be a complete separate video to talk about, but hopefully this makes sense to you, right? That these conditions are literally just your set of circumstances, and these are illusions because these conditions do not define who you are and what you can be and what you're capable of, because the versions of you that you want to experience already exist. So there can't be conditions that's preventing you from experiencing these things or getting there, because they already exist. So that's why conditions are illusions. People just use them as excuses to explain where they're at, not knowing that the version that they've always wanted to be already exists now in the present moment, and they can tap into it and become it starting right now. So hopefully you found this video to be helpful. Hopefully you found it to be eye-opening and beneficial. Honestly, guys, if you really enjoyed this video, do subscribe, because I'm going to continue posting videos like this, and do leave a like, because of course this video being close to 20 minutes, it took some time to make, right? And so I hope you appreciate this video. Share this with anyone who you think would benefit from this, because I want to keep helping to improve people and help empower people all around the world. So once again, guys, we're on the road to 1 million subscribers. So all your support is greatly appreciated. Once again, guys, it's Joel, and I'm out. I'll see you guys for the next video.